Hey guys, welcome back to another episode at the Main Core. For today's episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about success and more specifically what success means to you. I'm going to share a little bit about, my evolution of understanding of success and how that's changed. And a couple of other things just that I've noticed as I've gotten a little bit older. So today, like I said, we're going to go through success, not really metrics, but just, what it means to you and how you guys are going about finding it, how you define success. So for me, I've always thought of success to be, the equivalent of the amount of things or kind of where you were socioeconomically. And I don't, come from tough upbringing. I come from, a pretty well-to-do upbringing. So, there's no real excuse why I don't have the opportunity or I shouldn't have the opportunity that I have. I was given every opportunity to experience and to go whatever direction I wanted to go and to find things out that I wanted to, that I was curious about. So the opportunity and the availability was always there for me. My own father, he kind of went out on his own when he was, I think he was a junior in high school, and it's actually a really cool story. He had some conflicts with his own father, and he kind of had to go out and learn how to be a man on his own at 17, and it's a story that I often reflect back to because we're here to be good leaders. We're here to provide the best opportunities that we can for our own selves, for our families, how to lead the sons and daughters that we bring into this world. And that's a story that always really grounds me because my upbringing I'm incredibly grateful for and fortunate for. And I was, really grateful to have a father that started me off on the right path. He didn't have that. So, I know that that's a byproduct of the work that he did to go and find that out on his own. And it wasn't perfect. He wasn't without flaw. There were some things that he had to work through. But the reality is, and the fact is that he worked through it. And he saw through it and really committed to that process. So to me, that's how I define success. It's the order that I've got. It's not necessarily about where I live, what kind of car I drive, the amount of money that I have. All that stuff is just filler, man. Like I really don't think that shit matters. If you don't have it, then I suppose that's what you're focused on. But I think if you look at, my own father's example, like he didn't have a good role model. So he had to go out and figure that stuff out on his own. And, that would be tough because if you don't have really any place to go to seek out any advice, like, guys need aim, they need a direction, and he didn't have that. So I consider him to be really successful. And I've obviously had a lot of opportunity and things to be thankful for growing up. And a lot of that is a testament to who he became and how hard he and my mom worked. So I have, a really good idea of what success looks like. And it's changed throughout, as I've gotten older. Certainly more appreciative of hard work and the grit that I now understand the world to be. It's a grind. But, success I think it's more in the details, and I think it's more how you perceive it yourself. What I mean by that is if there's a garbage man that is like really good at his job or, he is, really passionate about recycling or being the garbage man, like, dude, he could be happy as a pig in shit. And the guy that lives in a loft apartment in New York could be, a big seed investor or, a big bankroll, or you could be miserable as fuck. So I don't necessarily, I know that it's not about the money, about the things. I think it's about what you find out is most important to you, and that you scratch that itch, that you dig to figure out what makes you happiness and how you define success. Um, you know, with social media and everything coming at us, you know, we're still living in a time where like entrepreneurism is like cool. You know, back in the day when I was a kid, entrepreneurism was it was risky as hell. Most people thought you were dumb as shit for doing it, because why risk all that when you have, you know, a regular paying job? And that only the nerds did it, because that's when they were building software and everything came out with the internet. Now, because, and no disrespect to him, I've gained a lot of motivation from him, but, you know, with guys like Gary Vee and, you know, a couple of, I'm not calling them out. It's just, you know, it's became cool to be an entrepreneur. And if you look at a lot of his content, he says the same thing. But it's not, you know, just him. We're still living in an era where like being an entrepreneur is cool. And the reality is that it's still just as risky. It's still just as lonely. It's still just as hard work. And I think that if that's what people want, if they understand the risk and that they're willing, I think that should be the success or the metric that they go after. But that doesn't mean that it's for everybody. And social media and a lot of the stuff that we're fed is that, you know, yeah, go out and build your own software, build your own app, or, you know, create this, you know, new innovative product, and you could live on a beach for the rest of your life and drink out of coconuts. Like, wake the fuck up. That's not what life is. You could do that for like 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe 2 or 3 months, and then be bored as shit. So eventually you're not gonna be fulfilled by that, and you're gonna find out that that's not really what life's about. I always am trying to figure out like that really deepest question about why I'm here, and how, you know, how I'm going to be measured, how I will be successful, you know, even after I'm gone. How will people consider, you know, how I contributed? How did I make people feel? How much value did I add when I was here? Did I build people up? Did I help people out? Did I help myself out? Did I help my family? Did I leave things better than I found them? You know, that's a huge question. No matter if you're at a job, if you're with people, or if you're, you know, meeting business partners, if you're working at a company, you should always leave things better than you found it. And if you're not doing that, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to know exactly where you're going, but you're doing the little things along the way. So, you know, leaving things better than you found it is really big. And it can be in any capacity. And even if it's something that you're working on just personally, to me, that's how I envision success. That's my barometer for success. And I used to think that it was something very different, and I've been proved wrong. Gladly, I'd rather be on this side than chasing the wrong side. I don't know how many days that I have here, and none of us do. Time is the most valuable resource that any of us have. We don't know if we have another hour, another day, another week, another year, another 20 years. None of us know. That's both scary and it's both reality. I mean, that's what it is. So, you know, I don't want to spend my years doing something that doesn't have any long-lasting change, has no, you know, contribution to society, doesn't fulfill me, it doesn't help people, doesn't add value. That's not success to me. And, you know, if I'm to buy a Powerball ticket and I acquire all this millions, what have I done? Have I done anything that's notable, that was good for people, that added value? Do I have a lot of money? Yeah. How am I using that money? What am I doing with it? Am I doing good with it? Am I, you know, irresponsible with it? Am I, you know, charitable with it? Or am I, you know, sniffing it up my nose? Like, it's just, am I partying a lot? Like, to me, that's not success. And I used to think that that's what it was about. That it should be a big party and that you shouldn't have to work. And at times I still struggle with that, and I think that's a byproduct of like the shit that we're fed of. You can have this if you just, quit your day job and go work at a startup. Like it's, that may be for some, but man, I'm going to listen to me. What makes me happy? Why am I here? Tuning out all that distraction, tuning out all that other stuff, all that advice, unsolicited advice, everybody else's success stories. That's great for them. What's mine? What's ours? What's yours? That's the key. That's success to me. And I don't think that it means that you make X amount. If you make minimum wage or if you make 400 grand in a month, I don't think it fucking matters. I think success is how you feel about it. That's all that really counts. What are you leaving behind? What is your legacy? As men, what is our legacy? Why are we here? What can we do to change that? That's the big question. Please like the comments, add the comments, share the video, subscribe, and thank you again for being a part of the community. If you have a problem or a challenge that you'd like to send me an email on for some advice, you can do so at themancoreproject@gmail.com. I got to run, fellas, but thank you again for choosing to add your valuable time to watching another video here. I will see you again very soon. Thank you.